The biggest change comes with the congressional map. Currently, North Carolina's 14 seats in Congress, evenly divided with 7 Democrats and 7 Republicans. The new map could give Republicans as many as 10 and possibly even 11 seats in Washington next year. The proposed congressional map targets 3 Democrats, Jeff Jackson, Wiley Nickel, and the Triad's Kathy Manning. Before the new map came out, I asked Manning about redistricting. The last time they drew you out of your district, are you expecting that again?
As I said, I don't expect my district to get easier. I hope what they come up with is a district that is fair.
The new map puts Greensboro and Winston-Salem, 2 Democratic strongholds, in Republican districts. The Gate City is in Virginia Fox's district. The Twin City is in Patrick McHenry's district. Manning issued a statement in response, calling the new map, quote, an extreme partisan gerrymander. Knowing what we know, is there anything the Democrats can do about it?
I think the opportunities for Democrats to challenge these maps are extremely limited.
Political scientist Michael Bitzer, author of Redistricting and Gerrymandering in North Carolina, says the state Supreme Court has already ruled it won't interfere in cases involving partisan gerrymandering.
But the likelihood is these maps will hold in some variation.
Bitzer says Republicans have the advantage in 10, if not 11, of North Carolina's congressional seats in next year's election.
I'm not surprised, supremely disappointed, but not surprised.
The new legislative maps give Republicans a good chance to hold on to their supermajority in both the State House and Senate. Guilford County Democrat Pricey Harrison says the map-making process lacked public input and transparency. She says she doesn't expect any relief from the GOP-controlled state Supreme Court.
We've got a different Supreme Court at the state level now that seems to rubber stamp what happens by the majority party here at the legislature, unfortunately.
Do you think that Democrats would do it any differently if they were in charge?
I would hope so.
The head of Guilford County's Democratic Party says North Carolina needs a nonpartisan redistricting commission.
Now, do I know that Democrats will do that? No. We know the people in power tend to want to keep the power.
The head of Guilford County Democrat says that Republicans cannot gerrymander statewide races. She says she's hopeful of winning the governor's race as well as several other statewide races next year. In Greensboro.
And that was Bill O'Neill reporting. North Carolina lawmakers will meet next week to vote on these new district maps. All right, let's talk about the forecast now. A look at Greensboro, 67 degrees. We have some clouds, we have some sun. Looks like the weather we've had for most of this week as we bring in meteorologist Jacqueline Shear. Jacqueline, one of those days where when the sun pokes through the clouds, it feels warm, and when it's not, you almost wish you had on more clothing.
Yeah, and we will be getting fewer and fewer peaks of that sunshine here as we head through the next 24 hours. It is dry and seasonal today, even though that cloud cover makes it feel a little cool. Tomorrow, cloudy with showers throughout the day, waves of rain moving through, likely impacting any Friday plans you have. And then as we look towards the weekend, it is cool and dry again, but we've got some gusty winds. So here's a look outside. Our temperatures are in the upper 60s right now. We've got some spots touching 70, Lexington and Danville at this point. As we're looking at our evening here, we are expecting it to stay nice throughout the evening hours. Of course, you want those layers because it is cool and cloudy. Our foothill locations are looking at cloudy conditions as well. By midnight, mostly cloudy with temperatures in the mid 50s there. And what you'll notice in the mountains is that we end up with more and more cloud cover, and then we also end up with some rain chances, a 20% chance for some showers. That is ahead of a rainy day for your Friday. I'll let you know right now, a lot of schools have changed their Friday night football games to tonight. So if you're hoping to head out to Friday Night Lights, you might want to check your team to make sure that you are still on for tomorrow, or maybe you're having that game tonight. We'll take a closer look at your Friday forecast and the weekend ahead for homecoming for a lot of folks coming up.
Jacqueline, thank you. A U.S. Marine was killed at North Carolina's Camp Lejeune last night. Now authorities have another Marine in custody accused in his death. The base stated the Marine died after an incident in a barracks room on base Wednesday. It is unclear how this Marine died or what led up to the incident. The victim and suspects' names have not been released publicly. No comment yet either from the Department of Defense.
Families in Davidson County are waiting for food as the county is delayed in its food stamp deliveries. The county tells us it's about 6 weeks behind in processing recertifications. About 13,000 families rely on those benefits. They say they're working overtime and using staff from other departments to try to help. College students, at least some of them, like to play video.
Right.
This might look like fun and games, but you can learn real-world lessons on how to run a successful business. The game is called Venture Valley and was created by the Singleton Foundation for Financial Literacy and Entrepreneurship. Students at High Point University gave it a test run. The foundation wanted to find a way to teach young people about running a successful business. This esports-style competitive game gives players the opportunity to take on the role of a business owner so they can build their own business. Everything you need to know about starting a business, such as location, pricing, even how much to pay your employees, is included.
Okay, let's go ahead and try it one more time.
The game is completely free with no ads and available on Steam for Mac and PCs and Apple and Android app stores. Venture Valley's producer says the government of Poland wants the game included in their high school curriculum, and he's hopeful schools here in the U.S. will do the same. High Point University students we talked with said the game takes hardcore economics and makes it fun.
But I think people that maybe aren't like adhering to sitting in a classroom for hours to be able to just like continually like read through a textbook. This is like a visual thing you can see, and you're competing with other people, so it makes you in tune with wanting to learn about this stuff.
And there's real money on the line. Venture Valley is going to give away $2,000 to today's top scorer, which is not going to be me. At High Point University, I'm Chris Peterson, WXII 12 News.
Thank you, Chris. WXI 12 gets spellbound by the new costume options for this Halloween. Might be surprised at the most popular pick. It is not Barbie. Later, why a popular social media company might be changing how a war 6,000 miles away could very well transform the entertainment you consume on your phone. Today, you can get into the North Carolina State Fair in Raleigh for free.
It's Hunger Relief Day, meaning a donation of 6 canned foods will count as a ticket. The fair is open at the NC State Fairgrounds until 9:45 tonight. This annual event started in '93. Donations benefit the food bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. Organizers note at least 12% of the state is living with food insecurity right now.
We're about a week and a half away from Halloween, so it is crunch time if you still plan to celebrate and don't have a costume yet.
And I visited a local Halloween store to find out what the most popular costumes seem to be this year. From scares and terrors to candy and costumes.
Spooky season's awesome.
'Tis the season to be spooktacular.
Definitely creepy, scary, spooky vibe stuff.
This year, people are tending to stick with the scary theme of Halloween, choosing those classic creepy costumes.
I think one of our most popular is always like Michael Myers or Jason versus Freddy, things like that. We've had a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's costumes go out the door because of the movie coming out.
From Barbie and Ken.
I have had some adults come in and buy the Barbie box costume.
To Bluey, Hocus Pocus, and Scooby-Doo 2, there's something for everyone to transform into.
Bluey's gone out the door a lot. A lot of the little boys, like our little boy horror section, they come in and find like the skin suits that are like really creepy and funny, or the creepy clowns.
And whether you're a kid or an adult, there's one thing for certain, that spooky, haunting Halloween spirit never goes out of style.
Going to look through all the costumes, that's my favorite part, and trying them on.
Just the fact you can do and be who you want to be, you know? You can just let go of your own characteristics and just let imagination go with it.
Halloween stores say this weekend and the next will likely be their busiest times.
And of course, WXII wants to see all of your costumes. You can share them with us using the upload section of our website, WXII12.com.
I am shocked and a little disappointed you did a story that did not mention the couple's costume of Taylor and Travis.
You know, those really aren't in the stores. I think those are more self-made.
Got to make those up
I'm
yourself.
actually planning on being Taylor Swift.
This is my surprise face. All right, moving on. Well, despite the icon of Halloween candy, candy corn is the most disliked candy, according to new research, and that appears to be the case year after year. People don't like it.
Yeah, Top Cash Back also found almost 2/3 of American parents steal candy from their kids.
The other
Kenny, are
third
you
is
one of
lying.
those?
Yeah, the other third is not telling the truth. We all do it.
Yeah, also the favorite Halloween movie in the survey, it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, followed by Hocus Pocus, Beetlejuice, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and then The Addams Family. I'm a big Hocus Pocus fan myself.
Nightmare's big in the Beck house. We like that one.
I do love Hocus Pocus, but I was terrified of it as a child. I had to grow up before I could even handle Hocus Pocus, and that's kind of how wimpy I am overall.
I'm sure we also won't be this lucky to be this warm when Halloween actually does arrive.
Right, it feels kind of like Halloween weather out there. If you're pulling all those costumes early, you will need those extra layers. As we're looking outside, temperatures are in the mid to upper 60s right now. We've got 70 in Danville. As we look outside at surface conditions, you notice that those clouds are starting to build. We've had some peaks of sunshine, some peaks of blue sky here and there. And as we head into the next couple of hours, that cloud cover will be sticking with us. So if you're headed out to high school football this evening, you'll need sweatshirts. It'll be cloudy, cool and overcast by the end. We're looking at 58 degrees by 9 p.m. So layers are essential as we head into the day tomorrow. We start off cool and then that rain moves in. Some showers and occasional thunder moving through the area. High rain chances in the afternoon. It's waves of rain that'll be moving through our area as we head through the day tomorrow. So you'll get some dry time, but it'll be cool and cloudy and somewhat drizzly out there even during those dry times. Temperatures will be making it into the mid 60s. As we look towards the foothills, those high rain chances through the morning and into the afternoon. And in the mountains, we'll start to see some of that rain in the late part of tonight, overnight, and into tomorrow, with higher rain chances into the early afternoon. Late in the day, those rain chances start to drop off slightly. Our hour-by-hour forecast shows us that rain that we'll be seeing in the mountains through the overnight, scattered showers for the most part, low chances still, but then as we head into the later part of the morning, seeing higher and higher rain chances throughout the entire area. So those waves of rain moving through. Again, when you're dry, you still have that cloud cover out there and it's still quite cool. So not a comfortable day at any point throughout the day on your Friday. After that that rain moves out, it'll be late evening, so we're looking at after the sun goes down for most of us. So as we head into the evening, things will be clearing out, but overall a messy, messy Friday. Into your Saturday, cool and breezy. Winds getting up to 20 miles per hour throughout much of the day, and that means, of course, if you are headed out to homecoming, you need layers. As we look towards post-game time frame, we're at 10 to 20 mile per hour winds for the Rams football game outside. That's at Bowman Gray Stadium. Looking towards Elon, which their kickoff is at 2 p.m. A chilly breeze, gusty and cool by post-game, and then back to Winston-Salem for Wake Forest for that kickoff at 3:30. Winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Take a look at this. Those feels like temperatures or wind chill in the 40s. We are at that time of year where wind chill is important. So just a reminder, wind chill is the temperature your body thinks it is outside. It's a matter of comfort, but it's also a matter of safety, especially later in the season. So something to keep in mind here as we head into those cooler months. UNC football, that kickoff at 6:30, and we are expecting that post game will be quite chilly in the low 50s there. So definitely need those hot, warm layers if you're headed out that way as well. We are looking towards Saturday being a much nicer day, as you can tell from those homecoming forecasts, though. And of course, that means if you are looking at making strides walk in Greensboro, we are looking at some nice weather, winds gusting to 25 miles per hour. So windbreakers, that would be helpful as we're headed through the day on your Saturday. Here's your 7-day forecast. Lots of sunshine, lots of cool fall weather ahead with some cold mornings. Take a look at Monday morning, waking up in the 30s in the Piedmont Triad.
All right, getting a check on traffic now. A live look at I-40 at Gallimore Dairy Road in Greensboro, where things are looking good in both directions here at 420. Coming up, a new fall festival coming to the Triad. Why the location is perfect for some extra spooky activities.
Coronavirus outbreaks occur about every 7 to 9 years.
As doctors prepare for the next COVID surge, local researchers are hoping to offer a new way to fight back. We'll show you what they're studying when WXII 12 News at 4 returns.
All right, back now with a look ahead into a new way to enjoy autumn. The town of Green Level is hosting its first ever fall festival for the Triad.
One of the organizers joined us on the Local Vibe on the Triad CW this morning to explain.
Admission is free. There will be tickets sold in our concession stand for the carnival games and the haunted hayride, really cost efficient options there. We also have a wristband that will be able to let you participate in all the events. And we're just really excited about it. Again, it's our first one. We really want to set the standard and then next year build onto it.
Awesome. Already plans for next year for it. Now, Brandon, haunted hayride, how haunted are we talking?
Mildly haunted, but it is the theatrical part of it. And so I think as we brainstorm more and more, we're all getting super intrigued and super excited about it. We have a good amount of volunteers prepared, and it's in the right setting. It's in a wooded area. So
okay.
I'm super excited.
Green Level's first fall festival is Saturday. Come out to Green Level Municipal Park on Swan Road from 5 to 10 p.m. You can learn more about Saturday on greenlevelnc.com. And don't forget to watch the Local Vibe at 9 on weekday mornings on the Triad CW.
Your next prescription medication could very well be dropped off on your doorstep by a drone. Amazon announced that it plans to expand its drone delivery service. Right now, Prime Air is only available in 2 places, one in Texas and one in California. But the company says it'll expand to another state by 2024 and into Europe. The same week, one customer received the very first Amazon prescription delivery.
If you're a T-Mobile customer, take a close look at your next phone bill. The wireless carrier is running a test in which it automatically switches some customers to more expensive rate plans. The change impacts customers on older unlimited plans, and that includes T-Mobile One, Simple Choice, and Magenta 55 Plus. Those plans will be moved to $75 per month per phone line.
Newly filed jobless claim numbers for the week ending October 14th were lower than expected. Today's report from the U.S. Department of Labor shows claims are down 13,000 from the previous week. Weekly jobless claims remain below historic and pre-pandemic averages. Still ahead, funding to Israel. We'll check in on things in the Middle East as the president hopes to send more aid and in more than one way.
Plus, why some parents are blaming Snapchat for their children's drug usage, and your business headlines ahead.
Now we have some cool fall-like temperatures outside right now. We'll talk about a change to our forecasts and a very fall-like weekend coming up.
You're watching WXII 12 News.
Faculty and students at UNCG are worried that a number of their programs might be eliminated soon.
There is an ongoing protest happening right now, and our Joshua Davis joins us from campus live to discuss what it means for jobs and student enrollment. Joshua.
Kenny, Lindsay, you can see them right here behind me, all of them, undergrads, graduate degrees, masters. Some of them are here for a bachelor's in religious studies, a PhD in computer science, and a master's in information and analytics. These are just some of the programs people are worried could be cut. The University of Greensboro was undergoing a review of their academic programs. UNCG says the purpose is to meet students' needs, ensure sufficient support of programs, and to remain competitive with other institutions. However, some faculty are worried what this means for their programs that don't meet certain criteria for the review. Mark Elliott is an associate professor of history and the president of UNCG's American Association of University Professors. They published a list of endangered programs that's been circulating around campus. The university says the list is inaccurate and that all programs are subject to review. Elliott says they're worried about job security and whether students in endangered programs will get their degrees. UNCG's chancellor has pushed back on those claims, calling them premature.
I want the university to think very hard about what the impact will be of eliminating programs, particularly some of the programs or some of the historic programs that are tied to the identity of this university.
They will have a long time to make decisions about what they want to do. So I want to be clear, nobody's losing their job January 1 or next year, or this is a long process, but it has to start, and we owe it, and we will fulfill our obligations to teach the students who are in those majors until they receive their degrees.
Gilliam says the review process is still ongoing, but any future decisions won't be made until 2024. Reporting live in Greensboro, I'm Joshua Davis for WXII 12 News.
Joshua, thank you very much. I want to turn our attention now to the forecast. Kind of a copy and repeat day today. Most people, I think, are pretty pleased.
But that may be changing come tomorrow. We are expecting some wet weather in our area. Jacqueline, when do we expect most of that to move in?
As we head into the morning tomorrow, we'll start to see rain moving from the west to the east. So the mountains will see it early as we're looking towards your Friday morning, and then by about 9 a.m. most of us have those showers. It'll be cloudy even when you're not seeing rain. So it's waves of rain throughout the day tomorrow, but cloudy and cool when it's not raining, and then gusty by the weekend when we dry out. Temperatures are in the upper 60s as we're looking outside. We've been feeling slightly cool, especially in that cloud cover. As we look towards the evening tonight, mostly cloudy, but still very nice. Looking towards your midnight time frame, lots of cloud cover. You'll notice that increase in cloud cover as we head into the evening. Our foothill location seeing that cloud cover increasing as well. And as we look towards the mountains, there's a chance we even end up with a couple of showers late in the night tonight and into tomorrow. We'll talk more about the timing of those waves of rain that have caused some high school football games to be moved to tonight. And of course, we'll also talk about that homecoming forecast. So many schools around town are doing homecoming this weekend. It looks much more pleasant by that point. We'll talk more about it coming up.
In Russia, a U.S. journalist has been detained.
Her employer says this is the second time this has happened since the war in Ukraine began. Alsu Kurmaseva, a dual Russian-American reporter, was detained in Russia while awaiting the return of her passports. The city says she is charged with failure to register. The charge is often used to target journalists. It carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. Russian news outlets accused her of conducting a targeted collection of military information. A Wall Street Journal reporter was arrested on spying charges back in March. They face up to 20 years in prison if found guilty. Today, the State Department issued a worldwide caution advisory. It's attributing this to increased tensions and a potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, or violent actions against U.S. citizens.
The State Department says Americans should stay alert in tourist locations. Also, follow the department on social media and enroll in its Smart Traveler Enrollment Program to receive alerts.
Well, tonight the president plans to address the nation on the U.S. potentially sending aid to Israel.
This is border fighting escalates. NBC's Richard Engel reports.
As soon as President Biden left Israel, Israeli strikes on the Gaza Strip intensified. 4 hours after he was wheels up, the bombs were raining down. One, according to several witnesses, damaging a UN school turned into a refugee center in southern Gaza, where Palestinians were told to go for safety. Medical officials say 5 people were killed and dozens injured. We are all people from other areas who fled here because of the war, says this man. Then he sees something in the air, and there's panic, as many fear another strike is coming. During his visit to Israel, President Biden expressed the United States' full support for Israel's military campaign after Hamas gunmen from Gaza broke into Israel and killed at least 1,400 Israelis and foreigners and took 199 hostages, at least.
Israel, you're not alone.
The president also backed Israel's claim that it did not attack a hospital in Gaza on Tuesday. Hamas claims hundreds were killed. Israel insists the explosion was caused by a rocket from the militant group Islamic Jihad that misfired and crashed on the hospital grounds. New video capturing the blast. That explosion sparked protests across the Arab world. But in Gaza, it was just one of many. To the north, in Gaza City, right before President Biden landed, our crew witnessed an Israeli airstrike on an apartment building, the first of a small group of local reporters still in Gaza to reach the scene. People tried to dig through the rubble. They think they hear voices below. A rescue worker makes an appeal. Anyone with a bulldozer, come here now, he says. It's not clear who Israel may have been targeting, but civilians were among the dead, including a baby. The Gaza Strip remains cut off. Fuel and medical supplies are running out. Doctors say babies in incubators will soon die unless aid is allowed in. President Biden struck a deal for aid trucks to come in, but for now they remain in Egypt, just across the border.
The European Union is scrutinizing big tech companies today. It demands Meta and TikTok explain how they will curb illegal content and misinformation, especially regarding the Israel-Hamas war. And the companies have until next Wednesday to respond to questions related to their response. They also face a second deadline of November 8th for details on how the social media will protect election integrity.
Snapchat is in trouble this week. Dozens of parents are suing the social media app after their children died after consuming fentanyl. The parents say the app allowed drug dealers to sell illicit counterfeit drugs to their children. Parents in the suit also allege that Snapchat's platform makes it difficult for law enforcement to track illegal activity.
It's not only been about Daniel, but it's about all of the hundreds of thousands of children that have died due to fentanyl poisoning. You have a social media app like Snapchat, which is propagating these drug deaths by facilitating and allowing drug dealers to sell illicit counterfeit drugs to our children.
The hearing is happening this week in Los Angeles. Snapchat says it will cooperate with law enforcement.
It's going to cost you more to watch your favorite Netflix shows. The cost of the basic plan is going up $2 to $11.99. Netflix is also raising its premium plan by $3. This comes as Netflix customers move away from lower cost plans, which were used to attract subscribers in the early days of streaming. Netflix also says it's cracking down on password sharing, led to an almost 11% gain in subscribers last quarter.
Let's get another check on traffic. 52 north at Akron Drive North in Winston-Salem. Northern part of the city, not far from Smith Reynolds Airport. No delays and no crashes. We hope it stays that way. Still ahead, what researchers are doing here in our state that could get you easier access to COVID vaccines and how much Pfizer just announced theirs, Paxlovid, will cost.
And you won't want to miss how one man is creating its Halloween decorations this year, bringing back the spirit of business.
This edition of the Wake Forest Deacon Minute is brought to you by Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, the official team doctors of the Demon Deacons.
I saw a lot of guys grow on the D-line, like Jay Will, like Bryce, like Wyatt. They all have just grown up and listen to coaching. From year one to year two, you see that Like, he didn't change the defense. We all swarming to the ball. You could tell we care a whole lot more, and we just working. And he didn't put that in our heads that we just got to work, keep our head down and work. It's been a pretty good transition. Just listening to the people that graduated, just taking some things from them. And Wake Forest is a good fit for me personally because it's just a good school academically. It focuses on you student athlete first, and that's what I like about Wake Forest.
This edition of the Wake Forest Deacon Minute is brought to you by Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, the official team doctors of the Demon Deacons.
From Graham to Greensboro, WXII 12 News has you covered. Keep up with your local news team across the Triad. Follow Lindsay Klein on social media.
Salem Academy and College is hosting health leaders from around the county tomorrow at a Health Leadership Forum.
And this is a free event that the public can attend. Women
in the industry are going to be discussing their work, research, and challenges within the career. This is going to be held tomorrow from 9 to 12:30 at the Salem's Elberson Fine Arts Center. You can register online at salem.edu.
When breast cancer spreads, it often goes next to the spine. Now scientists may have finally discovered why this happens.
A study out this week explains why some cancers journey through the bloodstream.
Teams with Baylor College of Medicine identified that spinal stem cells secrete a specific protein which acts as a tumor attractant. Having discovered that, this draws cancer cells to spinal tissue. Scientists believe that blocking that protein could prevent or even treat spine cancer in the future.
On that note, a reminder that WXII is working to raise awareness and fundraise in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month this October. And coming up Saturday, we're going to be at the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk at Country Park in Greensboro. These are pictures we have received on the WXII 12 News Facebook page and ULocal. We also invite you to join us in wearing pink every Wednesday to support breast cancer awareness. You can share your photos with us using the hashtag WXII Wears Pink.
Well, it can be difficult to detect and diagnose autism spectrum disorder, particularly in younger children.
And that's why a group of doctors, scientists, and engineers at Duke University are developing an app to help more quickly diagnose autism in kids.
One key resource to diagnosing autism is a parent questionnaire often performed during an 18 or 24-month checkup. Researchers say that's missing for some children, especially girls and children of color.
Based on observations of behavior. So how do you develop a tool that can precisely measure behavior in an accurate way that could pick up on really subtle signs in many cases early in life?
I think it'll be really helpful to help close some of those disparities in early identification of underrepresented populations.
The new app tracks the child's responses from emotional expressions to body movements. Right now, it's still in a trial phase. It could take a couple more years to complete.
Pfizer has announced that it's pricing a 5-day course of the COVID antiviral drug Paxlovid at almost $1,400.
And that's not exactly cheap. Luckily, a new coronavirus vaccine from scientists connected at Duke University is showing early promise as another option. Michael Perchik reports.
This is the cell type that
It's never too early to start work on providing protection for future outbreaks.
We know from looking at history that coronavirus outbreaks occur about every 7 to 9 years.
Dr. Kevin Saunders is Associate Director of the Duke Human Vaccine Institute. His team created a trivalent vaccine targeting MERS coronavirus and 2 forms of SARS coronavirus.
What we're trying to do is predict what will be the next coronavirus. If it's a SARS-related virus, then we want to have antibodies that are able to recognize multiple SARS-related viruses. If it's a MERS-related virus, then we want to have antibodies that can recognize multiple MERS coronaviruses.
It's taken about 3 years to get to this point, and the work is far from finished. But initial results in mice are promising, and the overall development of a platform allows for future adaptability.
The same technology that we can use to broaden the response against these 3 coronaviruses that we know are human pathogens, we can use that same technology to make it broader or to apply it to other coronaviruses. So if there's other viruses that come in the future, we use the same platform, the same technology, and then we can modify the vaccine to be effective against other pathogens that may come along.
That's important, as the form of a future coronavirus outbreak is unknown.
Where we are trying to develop a vaccine where you would be immunized with this vaccine and would have protection against multiple different coronaviruses, and that you wouldn't necessarily have to worry about the coronavirus that's coming in the future because you would have broad immunity against multiple different coronaviruses.
A vaccine using similar technology to this one is slated to undergo clinical trials next year, which could provide valuable insight into how this could work in humans. All of this research being conducted as North Carolina is reporting a decrease in the percent of emergency department visits for respiratory virus and COVID-like illness, as well as hospital admissions in the past week.
All right, getting a final check of that forecast.
Jacqueline Shearer is with us once again. Jacqueline, are we expected to get really cold overnight or not too bad?
Yeah, the chill is definitely returning, so you want the layers if you plan to be out late tonight, especially if you're headed out to some of those high school football games, which have been moved to tonight because of tomorrow's weather. So as we're looking at the upper 60s right now, we're noticing more and more cloud cover moving into the area, and that'll prevent us from getting too cold in the overnight hours, but you'll definitely feel that chill. Our surface conditions are nice and dry at this point. That cloud cover pushes in, though. Our high school football forecast will be cool and overcast. By 9 p.m., we're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s. Even by the start of the game, it is sweatshirt weather for sure, so grab those layers before you head out. Our 12-hour forecast tomorrow, though, shows you why we are not doing high school football tomorrow for most of our schools in the area. Most of them have moved to tonight. Make sure you check that schedule for whatever your team